I'd done a little research into the program and knew that it sounded really exciting, and I wanted to do it. And I was talking to the one girl I knew who had gone on the program before. And I was grilling her with all these questions, what is it like? Did you like it? What is the ship like? How was your travels? And she answered a couple of them, and then she just sort of stopped and said, it's really not something you can talk about in just a couple minutes. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna do it.
I have so much. This is exactly what I'm terrified for when I get home. I think that when I look back at myself before I got on the voyage in January, I see somebody who thought they knew a lot about the world. To go to Thailand and see these people and then to read about it, it's a much more human thing.
So when you get to actually be with the people and eat with their families and sit around their tables, those differences all go away.
I now have experiences here and memories here and friends in these places.
It took me a long time to decide to come on Semester at Sea. Semester at Sea has taught me that knowledge is not only what you read, but it's what you do, and it's who you talk to that aren't academic people. It's who you talk to that are regular people like yourself that are just living a totally different life.
I really don't feel you can travel to all these places without learning more about yourself and the world at the same time.
I kind of was hoping that I'd come out here, I'd go visit these places, meet people, and I'd start to understand what I needed to do, or I would just, find some kind of clarity. But I guess what's happened instead is rather than give me answers, all this has done is give me questions.
You can go between Spain and Morocco, which was our first 2 ports, and it took us a day, just right over the Mediterranean, and it was 2 different worlds.
The people are what make this voyage special. The people you meet in the ports, the people that you meet on the ship, the teachers you have.
In many ways, I enjoy being on the ship more than I've enjoyed ports. I feel so, isolated and yet comforted, and I have this sense of community.
You've got this wonderful quantity of college-age students that are bursting with enthusiasm and youth and energy.
I've particularly come to love the students who are on Semester at Sea. I feel in a way they're very different from students whom I encounter in the general home campuses, because they're excited about the world and they are so curious, so willing to learn, so willing to take risks.
Not knowing any Japanese, and they didn't know any English, they understood that I wanted to play the game with them, and they could see that I was a soccer player and that my buddies and I wanted to play. So we got all of our stuff on, got the shoes on, got the shirt on. We started playing with these guys. The smiles and the laughter that we enjoyed together was priceless. Their life is so much different than mine, but we still can enjoy these things together.
If Japan had been my first port, I never would have visited the Japanese bathhouse, I'll tell you that. But then after 10 countries of going around the world and loosening up, I was like, okay. It was only women, but still it was very communal, lots of women there, and that was definitely out of my comfort zone. Way out of my comfort zone. I did it.
It's the little things that make it really life-changing.
Those sand dunes in Namibia that danced around.
Taking a canoe in a crazy river in Vietnam.
Someone coming up and giving me directions, or a random stranger inviting you to their home.
Thailand, the national park, where I got to sit around at a table with a woman from England and some people from Vietnam and just have a dialogue.
Walking into an orphanage in Cambodia and having 30 little kids just come running at me and wrapping their arms around me.
I went to Kailija in South Africa because you see so much optimism among the people for things like they're living in these shacks that are so poorly made. They're so friendly, whereas in the States normally we don't even acknowledge somebody that walks by you.
And it makes me think about how we interact with people that come to our country that, are from, abroad.
I was talking to one of the shop owners. He said, hey man, in a South African accent, said, hey, it's like just because other people around you aren't nice doesn't mean you shouldn't be. So it's like a candle, you gotta keep the candle burning. It's like maybe people in this country are, maybe people in your country aren't. It doesn't matter, man. He's like, you go back, keep the candle burning. Don't let the candle go out.
I think it's made me realize even more how connected we are to one another.
A little girl who couldn't speak my language, but who could smile with me and play games with me and enjoy our time together as much as if I did. I stayed in an Indian household, and
I ate food with them and laughed with them and had a family dinner where I've never felt more at home in my life.
In Cambodia, we went to Phnom Penh, and that was one of the most amazing trips I've ever been on in my entire life. And it really changed how I view like how people treat each other and how like optimistic people can be after certain things have happened to them.
It's sharing those experiences and kind of finding out what you did actually learn in that port. Because many times I feel like it didn't actually happen. I didn't realize what kind of effect a port had on me until I was back on the ship.
Some of the greatest moments were the moments that I spent by myself. Like the other day, I guess yesterday, when we were outside on the ship here and just looking out, and there was this incredible rainbow and the sunset going on over there, and there was, you know, dozens of people outside who were all watching. But I was just standing upstairs, kind of like in my own space by myself, just looking out and just looking at this just absolutely incredible thing that was going on.
You go to a different port and it's so much different from the last one that you have to rethink everything, and then while you're at sea you have all this time to reflect.
It's about the questions, and to have those questions, that's what makes everything worthwhile.
We went to these two places in Kailisha, and we met a woman who had a bed and breakfast. She was able to study in the States, and she came back, and she was thinking about all these wonderful things she can do. Like, she was gonna open up a nonprofit, she was gonna do all these things, but she couldn't. So instead of giving up and doing nothing, she opened up a bed and breakfast. And then from there, she got boys from the neighborhood to do tours for the foreigners who came in. She got her friends to bake cookies and make the food for them. She got other people who were in a band to play for them. So she was talking about how even though she wasn't able to do what she originally thought, she was able to do something that impacted her neighborhood a lot. And she's always talking about, and something that stuck to my ribs, and something that I always think about, is she was able to give a piece of a pie to everyone in the neighborhood. If I don't go to law school, if I do go to law school and I don't get the job I want, if the life that I'm picturing doesn't happen the way I see it as, it doesn't matter, because I can still do something.
The first night, Les told us about the concept of Ubuntu, being a person. We are all people through other people.
And at the beginning I was like, yeah, that's a cool phrase, but after you travel and you see so many different cultures and just so many different ways of life around there, it really is like, who I am has really become a reflection of the people I've met in my life.
Seeing all the different cultures and seeing the way that people live their lives and the way that it differs from your own is an experience that's unrivaled by anything else.
It's been a lot, and it's a lot to process, and it's a lot to take in, and I feel that no matter how much we think we know who we are now after this experience, there's going to be a lot, especially in the couple of months after we get back home, that we're going to find out about ourselves, and we're going to be like, whoa, where did this come from?
It's just given me a bigger thirst for travel.
It doesn't matter what age you are, what place you are in your life, this is transforming, and you're going to change.
I definitely feel that if anyone is going to know the changes that we went through and the changes that apply to us, it's going to be the people that we go back to, because I saw the changes my sister had. I pointed out to her, you weren't like this before, like what happened to you? And she was able to look back and be like, oh, that's something that I picked up, or that's something that happened to me a semester at sea.
There's just so many amazing moments that I think all together will influence who I am. When I get home and there's not a community of 700 people that it's normal to have these conversations with, I think that's when all of these moments and all of these different experiences that I've shared in the countries and in the ports and everywhere in between are going to really kind of come together and change the way I look at myself and I look at the world, and just change the way I look at people, at everything.